It's an honor for me, Johnny. But I imagine this is a lot of fun.
You haven't talked to many national championship quarterbacks in your life?
No, I haven't. I also haven't talked to anybody that's survived 20 years with you. That's why we go to Buck Belue on the Comcast Business Hotline. Buck, good morning. I'm Andrew. I'm John's new partner of only 100 shows.
Oh, wow. Congratulations, man. I hope it goes well. We lasted 20 years together now, so
How?
good luck with that.
How?
He's asking how.
I'm asking how. 20 years? John's still going to be John will still be doing radio 20 years from now, right, John?
No, I will not be.
He's looking younger than ever. What are you talking about?
I'm going to do my golf game's going to be more like Buck's by the time I retire.
Okay,
that's what I'm going to try to do.
I'm hoping that's a good thing.
Which is always good.
Now, thanks for joining us today, so we can find out a little bit more about your Atlanta Falcons, the old stomping grounds of John Kincade. They're up here in Philadelphia. Buck, the pass rush for the Steelers last week just had their way with the Atlanta Falcons offensive line. To you, was that more issues with the Falcons O-line, or was that just the dominance of T.J. Watt in the Pittsburgh Steelers defense?
Well, I'm just stunned we didn't get McGarry, the right tackle, any help. I mean, everybody in the league knows he's a run blocker, not a pass blocker, and they barely gave him any help at all against Watt. So I was totally irritated with that. I think that's on the coach. Both the new coordinator and the head coach. I mean, after all, Morris had to approve that plan. It just seems ridiculous. They tried to chip him a couple times, Watt that is, and, they're doing it with Pitts and Robinson. Those two guys need to be out in the pass rush. I mean, what in the world are we doing here? And so it's very disappointing. I was on board for less than one game. And so now I'm back just annoyed and irritated.
It seems like that happens a lot with the Falcons over the years. And did you have a lot of expectations that Raheem Morris was going to change things up? Could it just have been maybe opening night jitters? Things were a little bad against the Steelers?
Well, I was just stunned at how bad Cousins looked. And look, nobody got a chance to look at him during the preseason. He didn't play in any preseason games. The media, there were some isolated media members able to go to practice. Fans weren't able to go and look during training camp. But, it's really obvious he can't move right now. He's stationary back in the pocket. Can't escape, can't move, can't push off the leg. He looks slow and old. And I'm already on that Penix bandwagon at this point in time.
Wow, that early. You're already thinking about Penix.
This sounds good to me.
Exactly.
Buck, you always made me feel better. This is really making me feel better. Sure.
Yeah, this is tough down here, though, brother, because after 6 years, I was on board. We got rid of that knucklehead Arthur Smith, whose offense had to be the worst in the league. So, we got rid of him. We got a coach in that has been on the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball. Apparently, looked like he hired a good coaching staff, but this is totally frustrating coming into this matchup tonight.
So when you're looking at the Eagles, what's something that you're keeping a close eye on for tonight that you think they could exploit the Falcons with, whether it's offensively or defensively?
Well, gosh, I'm expecting to see a fight between some of the Eagles pass rushers because they want to line up opposite of McGarry. So I think you might see your own guys sort of scuffling a little bit at the opportunity to pass rush working on McGarry there. It's just unbelievable. Only Matthews at left tackle had a good week last week as far as pass protection goes.
You don't seem to be a McGarry fan, huh?
No, he's not.
Well, I mean, you guys would have run his butt out of town in Philly by now. We gave him a contract extension here in Atlanta. Go figure.
It's crazy. When you look at at what the Falcons are going to try to do, Bijan Robinson, a tremendous talent, and we looked at him a lot leading up to the draft. What have you seen out of him, and is he just being victimized by not having enough guys around him?
Well, look, I love him because he can do everything. He can run in between the tackles. He can get outside on the perimeter. He can get out in the pass rush or pass route, catch the ball, really good skills. So a good all-around running back. I'm excited about him. The offensive line, not so much. I mean, so disappointing, too, about the fact that we've got Kyle Pitts expecting him to break out with a legitimate quarterback in place and a better system in place. They had 3 targets on Pitts in the first game. Same thing with Drake London at receiver. You take him at a top 10 pick, He had 3 targets in the first game. What are we doing?
Who is somebody for us, for our side of things, to pay attention to the Falcons? Like, is there somebody on defense that we should probably be worried about? Because we're so focused on this Eagles offense here because it looks like a Madden team, even without A.J. Brown. Who's somebody on the Falcons' defensive side of the ball that we should keep an eye on?
Well, the 2 safeties they play ball. Simmons we bring in at the last minute. And we've got an all-pro back there at safety, Terrell at corner. But, gosh, I'm just expecting you guys to victimize the other cornerback spot and the nickel spot, which we did not address in the draft or free agency. So that looks like the weak spot to me. Fortunately, we catch a break with A.J. Brown's situation. So, there's some areas to target over there on the defensive side of the ball, and I believe it's the corner opposite Terrell. And then the nickel cornerback spot are the 2 big weaknesses.
I remember us talking about Jalen Hurts back when he was a college quarterback at Alabama. When you see Hurts as a former national championship quarterback yourself, what do you see in Jalen's game that impresses you, and what do you think you might want to see more of?
Well, I just can't get over it. It seemed like he protected the football so much better. His first 20 games in the league. These last 20-some-odd games, it seems like he's taking more chances with the football. He's not protecting the football like he did earlier on. I think just the farther he gets away from Nick Saban, the more he's turning the ball over. So that's the one thing that jumps off the page to me when I watch him play right now is just not protecting the football like he used to.
How dangerous are the Braves, by the way, if they get in?
We don't even know their names, the guys in the lineup. I mean, this is unbelievable. I mean, I got to check the roster and, do research just to figure out who's playing third base and who's in the outfield right now. It's just so disappointing. We're toast. I mean, even if we snuck in because of the Mets, you guys beating up on the Mets down the stretch, even if we get in, there's just no way that we can do any damage with what we're trotting out there right now. And look, it's understandable. These injuries hit, and they hit hard this year. I think a lesser team would have already been out of the race, but we're out there playing with quad A guys, as we used to call them in the minor leagues. The guys that are good enough to reach AAA, but not good enough to play in the big leagues. I mean, we got a handful of these guys in the lineup right now.
All right, Buck, before we let you go, based off of what you just said, I need you to do us a favor, if you feel comfortable doing so. We have a lot of...
Sing the Eagles song?
No, not
he
that.
He knows the song.
I'm sure he does.
He heard it
worked with you for 20 years.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Awesome. Buck, the Philadelphia fans are always, it seemed to be living on the edge right now, edge of their seats, doom and gloom, like something's going to happen at any moment. I just heard you talk about the Atlanta sports scene and how bad it is right now. Can you maybe open the eyes to some Philadelphians as an outsider looking in that think that the Phillies season's going to be over before we know it and the Eagles are going to be a disappointment and this team's going to suck and that team's going to suck? Because I think, based off of what you said, we have it a little bit better here right now.
You do. I mean, even our Hawks aren't any good. So, you look at, we like to claim the Georgia Bulldogs in Atlanta, too. They're right down the road. But, gosh, we even fell out of first place in the polls this week. So, look, life's good in Philly. I'd say enjoy it while you can, brother.
Buck, I miss you. Hope everything's well. I'm good to see the family doing well. And hopefully Rhett, his youngest son, senior in high school, hopefully he can get back onto the football field after the injury he's had. But it looks like he's going to get back in November probably, right?
Well, we're hoping, just looking at the timeline, that he can come back in the last one, maybe the final 2 games. But we've got our fingers crossed on that one. I keep telling him how this guy that played for the Rams and the Florida Gators, Jack Youngblood, this is a way back kind of guy. He played in the Super Bowl with a broken leg. Come on, man.
Hey, that's great. Hey, Buck, give everybody a hug for me, maybe except for one person today when you get into work. Yes.
Keep up the great work, man.
All right, love you, buddy.
Yeah, man. There he is, Buck.